Hey, I'm Ruben from the Netherlands, actually. Do you know the YouTuber Cosmic Skeptic? And I know you two have different views on veganism, for example, but what do you think of him? Because you both are atheistic advocates and stuff. But what's your opinion on him? And I was just curious because I like both of your opinions on church and atheism and that type of stuff.
Can't fucking stand Cosmic Skeptic. No, I'm just playing. Cosmic Skeptic is a fine dude. I know him. I've talked to him a few times. I've had him on my channel, obviously. He's a fine dude. We just have different disagreements on many subjects, not just veganism, but a few others. And that's okay. I don't want to cannibalize the atheist community and just destroy everything and everybody who doesn't agree with me. I think disagreements are okay. As long as they're not disagreements on whether or not being a neo-Nazi is okay, or whether or not, hating somebody for the color of their skin is okay. I don't think there are any disagreements like that in the atheist community right now. Any disagreements I have with Cosmic Skeptic are things that are reasonable to discuss between us. So yeah, I don't have an issue with the guy. And as far as I know, he doesn't hate me either. I mean, I've hung out with him a few times, so.
I'm from Ohio. I was just wondering if you had any insight on how, Christianity seems to be the religion of anti-science, these days. Not just evolution and everything, but, everyone who's anti-vax, I've never come across a non-Christian anti-vaxxer. So I don't know if you have any insight on how that came to be or anything. Or sorry if you've already covered this and I just missed it. But yeah, I'd love your thoughts. Thanks. Bye.
Appreciate that. I think the reason that it seems like Christianity is the primary driver behind the anti-vax ideology is because that's who we're around the most. If you went over to the Middle East, went to Saudi Arabia, you'd find a lot of anti-vax people over there too. I mean, anti-vax isn't necessarily tied to any one religion. It's tied to ideologies, and a lot of those ideologies also happen to be tied to religion. But I think something you have to take with a grain of salt is, anecdotally, I've noticed a lot of wooey New Age people happen to be anti-vax. That's where I tend to see it the most. Except for with the COVID thing, because it's been so politicized. The COVID vaccine, I think the people leading the charge against the COVID vaccine right now happen to be Christian far-right extremists. But the traditional, regular anti-vax groups tend to be mom groups on Facebook, essential oil peddlers, those types of people. Spirit science or teal swan types. People who believe in healing crystals and so on and so forth. That's been my experience. I just think the reason it looks like Christianity is so anti-vax right now is because the far-right extremist Christians are the most vocal against the COVID vaccine right now.
Hello, so my name is Max, and I live in Kansas. I wanted to ask you, because you have previously stated that you would believe in Christianity if, just the Christian God just would, tell you that he's real. And some people would say that that goes against your free will to choose. I just wanted to ask you, what do you think is more important for, the Christian God to give people? Free will or forcing them to choose him so they can go to heaven?
Fascinating question and fascinating framing. I propose to you, it is not a violation of somebody's free will to know that God exists without a shadow of a doubt. People still have the free will to choose whether or not to worship God, even if they know for a fact that he exists. That whole argument, to me, is nonsensical from top to bottom. I'm really not buying that argument. I hear it constantly from Christians, and it just doesn't make any sense at all to me. It feels like the only people that really make sense out of that argument are people who want it to make sense in the first place. That's just how it looks. Check this shit out. So I get an email earlier from somebody, And they say, Telltale, I've been wanting to talk to you. I don't think you're a reliable source. I am not trying to be mean. One run-on sentence, by the way. I am not trying to be mean, but I think this need to be said. All you do is attack the Christian right. I do agree with you because I am agnostic, but stop putting politics into things. I am sorry I took your day. Period. Good day, sincerely, Murray. Sources, mediabiasfactcheck.com/God good Lord above. They said sources, mediabiasfactcheck.com/God good Lord above. What the fuck? Why did they say sources and then list that website? You know what? Let's go there. Fuck it. Let's go there. I wasn't actually planning on doing this, but fuck it. Let's do it. Mediabiasfactcheck.org. Or no, .com/God good Lord above. All right, let's see this shit. Here we go. God, good Lord above. A questionable source. It's extreme left and it's mixed factual reporting. Here's a synopsis, an analysis of its bias and why they think it's not reliable. In review, prior to 2018, Good Lord Above was a website that published fake satirical news stories that made fun of religion and the Christian right. In 2018, they began publishing real news stories that are also denigrating to the right. A sample article headline reads, "The hilarious new Twitter account combines the Pope with filthy tweets." Some articles use highly loaded emotional language, such as scumbag televangelist Pat Robertson prays for God to throw confusion into Kavanaugh's alleged victims, so on and so forth. Yeah, if they're representing themselves as a news outlet, then that's a problem for me. They shouldn't be representing as a news outlet. They can represent as an opinion piece and an opinion outlet, which is what I am. Is that what this person was implying, that I'm just like this website? My reporting, I do my absolute best to use factual information. If I'm not 100% sure that it is factual, then I'll tell you that. I'm not sure. Put it in the comments if there's some correction and I pin it to the top. I'm not a news reporting outlet. I'm an opinion outlet. I'm not even an outlet. I'm just a dude sitting here in front of my computer talking. That's it. So you shouldn't be coming to me for your news. Get your news somewhere else. If you want to hear opinions on what I think of certain articles, then come on. I mean, I'm here. I'm talking about it. I love talking about this shit. You would be right to say that I'm not a reliable source because I don't try to be a source at all. Don't view me as a source. If I'm a source, if I'm your only source, that's a problem. Now, as far as attacking the Christian right, I do attack the Christian right because they're turning into a death cult. Seriously. I'm not being hyperbolic. The Christian right, the far right, is turning into a death cult right now, right in front of our eyes. That's why I talk about it. Anyway, thank you for the email. I simply disagree. The biggest of Chungai. Is Marjorie Taylor Greene legitimately mentally ill? I can't tell. Well, it depends. I think she's probably neurotypical. I guess it would depend on what you mean by mentally ill. I don't think she has schizophrenia. I don't think, as far as I know, she doesn't have like bipolar disorder or any of the other things any of the other diagnoses that you would traditionally consider to be mentally ill. But I believe that she is she's gotten herself so wrapped up in these conspiracies that at this point, here's the definition of delusional: characterized by or holding idiosyncratic beliefs or impressions that are contradicted by reality or rational argument, typically as a symptom of a mental disorder. I believe that she is delusional, full-blown, clinically delusional. I think that she fits the dictionary definition of delusion. Now, if that is mentally ill to you, then yeah, I would say she is. I don't think she has a clinical diagnosis of any specific illness, or I don't know of one. But if you consider delusional mentally ill, then yes. I think delusion is defined in the DSM-5, right? Delusional disorder. Yeah, it is. Here's a breakdown of the entry for delusional disorder in the DSM-5. If you don't know what the DSM-5 is, it's the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition. It is the handbook to help you diagnose mental illness. Delusional disorder is an illness characterized by at least 1 month of delusions, but no other psychotic symptoms, according to the American Psychiatric Association's DSM-5. Delusions are false beliefs based on incorrect inference about external reality that persists despite the evidence to the contrary. These beliefs are not ordinarily accepted by other members of the person's culture or subculture. Delusions can be characterized as persecutory, i.e., belief that one is going to be harmed by an individual, organization, or group. Referential, i.e., belief that gestures, comments, or environmental cures are directed at oneself. Grandiose, belief that the individual has exceptional abilities, wealth, or fame. Erotomanic, a false belief that another individual is in love with him or her. Erotomanic. Nihilistic, i.e., conviction that a major catastrophe will occur. Or somatic, i.e., beliefs focused on bodily function or sensation. Because cognitive organization and reality testing are otherwise intact in delusional disorder, it's been described in the literature as partial psychosis. So there you go. A good example of grandiose under the delusional disorder category would be Kanye West, the belief that the individual has exceptional abilities, wealth, or fame. Now, the guy is wealthy, the guy is famous, and he's really good at what he does, right? Absolutely reasonable to say that. But he has bipolar disorder. He came out and said that. Kanye West did. And that's a symptom of it. Grandiose delusions of grandeur. He says not that he's really good, that he's the best. That's what he says. He's the best. That the best there is. That is a good example of delusions of grandeur. Now, I would say in Marjorie Taylor Greene's case, let me look through here. I would say persecutory delusions definitely apply. Belief that one's going to be harmed by an individual, organization, or group. And nihilistic, a conviction that a major catastrophe will occur. At least those two apply in Marjorie Taylor Greene's case. So is Marjorie Taylor Greene mentally ill? I would say yes. She has delusional disorder as defined by the DSM-5. And under that category, she has persecutory delusions and nihilistic delusions. Aylmar, treats for your kitties in memory of my kitty. Rip Honey, May 22nd, 2021. Man, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's rough. That is a rough situation to deal with. I've heard that it helps getting another pet shortly thereafter. Don't jump into anything you're not prepared for, but that could help. I know losing pets fucking sucks. I lost my cat when I was younger. It was pretty sad. When my parents kicked me out of the house, they took my cat that I'd had since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. They took him to the pound. And they didn't even want to tell me because they didn't want to call me and talk to me because I'm disfellowship, so they just did it. So as soon as I found out, I went to the pound and picked him right up. Brought him home. But he got distemperament. Is that what it's called? Distemperament or whatever? Where they won't eat and they get really sick and emaciated, and then he just died one night shortly after. It's so fucking sad, man. It was heartbreaking. I was there when he died. Part of me, after my cat died, I wondered if it was worth it to get a pet at all anymore. Because it's definitely, for sure, gonna die before me, right? I mean, cats' lifespans are usually about 18 years, 15 to 18. And I've got a solid 50 years ahead of me, probably. So I'm gonna lose him one day. I'm gonna lose him. Is it worth the pain? That was my question. Rhetorical, I guess. I guess I decided it is, because I have another cat. I felt that it would be beneficial to Kylie to grow up with a pet. So I got another cat. But it's rough. It fucking sucks, and I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that. We'll make it through together. And I will give my kitties treats in memory of Honey.